Hi there. In this video, I'm going to say a little bit about how to put together a video in Kdenlive in this sort of picture-in-picture format. So I'm compiling a video for Math 402, but this can work for any course that you choose. So over here, we're going to go to our project bin and add a couple clips. So we've got our screen clip, our webcam clip, and our audio. So now we've loaded these into Kden, and notice that there's this P on the clip. That means that there's a proxy of the clip. This just makes video editing a lot faster, a lot more manageable. So we're going to try and make sure that we have proxies on all our clips. We've got two video tracks. We're going to put the webcam in one track and the screen in another track. And the audio will go with the audio track. Now, I slate my audio. So when I'm filming, I take a moment before the film. I wait for about 5 seconds. Then I clap on screen. And then I wait for about 5 seconds before I start. This just makes sure that I have a visual symbol, the hands coming together, and an auditory symbol that I can see in my waveform. So if you look here, there's this big spike when the clap happens. So let's check out the video of this happening. I'm waiting. Right, and there we go. There's the clap. Okay, so I'll go back to the exact frame where my hands come together. Boom, there they are. I'll line that up with my waveform. Okay, so those are lined up now. Great. Now I'll watch this a little bit to make sure that my mouth and the audio are synced up. And it looks pretty good. So let's group those clips together so that they behave the same. I can shift them both in the same way now. And now we'll put the screen underneath there. So we'll join that up with the video. And notice how it's showing me the just the webcam footage. So what we need to do is we need to put the webcam footage on top of the slide footage. So we're going to select both of those clips. And then we'll add a transition to do a composite. So we select Add Transition, Composite. We want to drag that over on top of both clips. And we want to elongate it so that it covers the whole video. So we'll just drag that composite effect out over the whole thing. Boom. Okay, now in our clip monitor in the upper right hand corner, we can change the size of the picture-in-picture. So we're going to drag that over top of our little green screen there. Beautiful. Now we've got the picture-in-picture effect. Beautiful. So now that we've got that picture-in-picture, we can start getting the timing of the screen annotation to match up with the timing of the slides. Or sorry, the audio. So I always say, let's get started and then switch to the next slide. That gives me a visual cue switching to the slide, as well as an auditory cue. So I pause my clip there and then move the slides until they match up. So there's a really subtle point about these videos that I want to point out. If you look at the small picture-in-picture video, you can see that I'm looking way off to the left, but the annotations are happening on the right-hand side. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip the picture-in-picture video to line up so that it looks like I'm pointing at the annotations. So we go to video track 2, which has our webcam. We add effect, go to miscellaneous, and we add the flippo effect. Now the default is to flip x-axis and y-axis. We don't want that. We just want to flip the x-axis. So now I'm looking in the right direction. I'm looking in the direction of the annotation. And we're pretty much good to go now. We have to clip the beginning and end of the video to match. If we look at the timeline, we see that a couple things are off, right? The picture-in-picture starts before the slides start, and everything's a little bit misaligned. So we're going to go in and do a little bit of clipping to manage that. So first, we're going to group our clips together because everything looks pretty synced up now. Nice. So let's zoom in on when that happened. So here's the gap between my slate and starting to talk. And I'm just going to cut a couple seconds before I start to talk. Right, so that there's just a little bit of a moment when people load the YouTube video before we start talking. So we'll pull all that forward to the beginning of the video. That's actually a little bit too much. That's sort of weird. There's 2 seconds. So let's just cut a little bit more. There we go. Great. Now let's go all the way to the end of the video. Okay, now see we've got a lot of overhang here. We've got a lot of extra footage in the slides and the webcam. So we're going to cut all that stuff, delete, and then pull that composite effect back to only the stuff we need. Okay. So there we go. We've got a nice clean start. All 3 bits of footage are starting at the same time. And we've got a nice clean ending there as well. So let's check that out. Okay, that's a pretty clean start. Now let's go to the end. Okay, that looks pretty good. That's a pretty good start and end. So now we're ready to render the project. So we go render. You want to make sure that this is in MP4, which is a really high quality format. You want to make sure that you're in the right folder. For me, this is a hyperbolic disc video, so I'm going to say week 8 hyperbolic disc. Sweet. Now there's a tricky point here. We're going to go generate script. We want this to go same location. Okay. The tricky point is that we want to only render with one thread. If you render with more threads, it renders a little bit faster, but the composite video can get kind of glitchy. So make sure you're set to only render with one thread, then hit generate script, call that week 8 hyperbolic disc, good, yes, sweet. So now you're ready to go. You're ready to render the project. So just run that script on your machine and you'll get a hyperbolic video, or you'll get a video with picture-in-picture. So thank you very much.